We're on our way to go do one of the most difficult things you can possibly do when it comes to a construction project. Let's get right to it. Let's go see if we can find some lumber that's not warped beyond use. I got a few, and I got some more 2-inch nails for the siding that I'll be picking up tomorrow. So tomorrow we're gonna be visiting a lumber mill to get the rough sawn siding pieces. Just got back from the lumber mill. So these boards at Lowe's that would not be a rough sawn would be roughly $12 to $15 a piece. At the lumber mill that I'm going to, I'm getting them for $5.60 a piece. Before I start with that siding, I got stung by the scorpion last week and I forgot to put these 2 pieces of trim up on the corner right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and install both those real quick right here just to make it look a little bit more finished. And eventually these will be cased across the top as well. So from there over will be cased, from there over. All right, I've got 15 2x4s. I've got 20 pieces of the siding that I've got. As you can see over there, it takes about 9 pieces to go vertical from the bottom of the tin up. Over here, what I gotta do though before we start putting the siding up, which is the fun part, is we've gotta frame it in and then get some insulation behind it. So as you can see, I've already got 2x4s on the side of the galvanized beams that are there. The thing is it's about a 50 to 55 inch gap depending on which one of these you look at in between there. So I've been taking and adding a 2x4 across the top, one in the middle before the tin's there and one on the bottom that gave me something to screw my tin to. And I've been turning the 2x4 sideways because it's sturdy. It's really just here to hold this, what I'm referring to as wainscoting, and then the siding above it. So there'll be another 2x4 turned flat across the top and then one that comes down like a T to there. And that's just gonna make it like there's a secondary joist in between the galvanized pieces. I don't think that this siding would ever warp because it's 1 inch thick, but I'm just taking every precaution. By me turning the 2x4 sideways, it's allowing me to slide some of this stuff over here that most people use in the roofs behind it as part of the insulation. You can kind of see it sticking up above the wall up there. And then I'm gonna come back and fill in from the top down. When you're working by yourself, you try to take shortcuts like I just did, and then you end up with a mess just like this one. An entire box of nails fell, and I kid you not when I say not one stayed in the box. So now I'm gonna waste about 5 or 10 minutes and pick all these up. All right, we got one panel done. One more panel to do, we can start putting the siding up. As you can see, I added an additional 2x4 over there for something for my siding to land on. I put the one in the center. This one over here is gonna be just fine because it's already gonna be a spot to nail to. Now to just replicate that process and do it one more time. All right, second panel's done. On to the siding. First thing we gotta do is I'm gonna have to move this box out. When I initially installed the electrical, we just hung it out a 1/2 inch like regular sheetrock. However, like I said, this rough cut wood's about 1 inch thick, so I'm gonna have to move a box out just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So these first two pieces are the hardest for a couple of reasons. The first reason is the plug that's in it right here. We had to cut that little slot out for it to be able to fit there. The other reason is if the bottom row is off, everything's gonna be off. This being rough sawn wood, it makes it really hard to get it level. So right now you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here, and that's because this board is bowed really bad. However, I've kept it as level as I could, and then I'll correct it as I move up the wall. As I get higher, it will get easier. All right, start to finish. Here we go. All we gotta do now is we gotta put trim in this corner, trim into that corner, so that it'll look like these over here. Well, what do you think? I think it looks a little bit more finished. We're getting there slowly but surely. We spent about 2 hours this morning messing with this. I did the rough framing with the 2x4s and the first layer of insulation, and then my wife came down and she helped me knock out these 9 pieces of siding that you see here. This siding is 113 inches long, so believe it or not, it's almost 10 foot. It gets pretty cumbersome to do by yourself, so I was happy to have her help. You may be looking at the top and wondering why we've got 2x4s sticking out and stuff like that. Well, we've got some stuff that we're gonna do around there that's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a surprise that we'll share later. It's gonna definitely be a custom build, I will say that. So what's to come next? Well, we still got some siding work to do, and that's gonna be right over here. I've gotta move all this stuff that you see in the corner back and off of the wall, come in and finish the framing, put in the first layer of insulation. Then I gotta go buy some tin, get the tin in place, and then we'll finish the wood up to the top. As for this wall over here, we're gonna do something completely different. It'll probably be solid wood, probably plywood or OSB, because there's gonna be a ton of shelves against that wall over there that's gonna be housing a lot of antique glass bottles. So it's gotta be pretty rigid, pretty sturdy, and I definitely don't wanna lose a ton of century-old history, so gotta be very careful there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did, please be sure that you're subscribed, and if you're not, go check out Adventure Archaeology as well. That's our other channel. We'll see you guys there.